Hello, this is Tammy Cromer-Campbell, coming to you from TCC Photo Gallery in downtown Longview, Texas, at 207 North Center Street, and on the web at tccphotogallery.com. Today's podcast is about our current exhibit, Blue Earth Alliance, Photographs That Make a Difference. And on the call, we have one of the founding members and internationally known photographer, Phil Borges, as well as the current president, Adam Weintraub. So thank you so much for listening. Be sure and visit our online store at tccphotogallery.com and click on the Buy Now button. Purchasing a Blue Earth Alliance photograph inspires social change. Here is Phil Borges explaining how Blue Earth Alliance was formed.
The way it started, Natalie Phobes, who's a photographer, National Geographic photographer, gave me a call. And I had previously started another 501c3, a nonprofit organization dealing with high-risk kids and mentoring high-risk kids. So she gave me a call and said, I just applied for a grant, and they said I had to have a nonprofit status or a 501c3 umbrella in order to get this grant. And how do you go about doing it? Because she knew I had just formed another nonprofit organization. I told her that it was fairly easy to do, and I happened to know a photographer lawyer by the name of Malcolm Edwards, and we decided to set up a nonprofit that would give photographers that had a project in mind a 501c3 umbrella in order for them to fundraise to support their projects. So that's what Blue Earth that's how it initially started. Well, it's just to give photographers that are doing projects on endangered environments or endangered cultures or other social issues. I know the mission statement has changed a little bit over the years, but that's the way it started. Anybody dealing with endangered environments or endangered cultures and producing projects around that subject, to give them 501c3 coverage so they could go out and fundraise to get the funding for their projects.
Adam, could you tell us a little bit more about what's going on with Blue Earth Alliance today?
Thanks to Phil and Natalie's foundation, the organization has grown tremendously over the last, I guess it's about 11 or 12 years now since Phil and Natalie founded it. But the mission statement is largely where Phil left it, and technically it's to educate the public about endangered environments, threatened cultures, and social issues through photography. And as an organization, we've moved away from directly promoting the idea that we only work as a conduit for photographers. Now we actually give them tools and advocate for them and their work, mostly in the sense that we'd like to provide a wider array of opportunities for them, not just it often comes down to money, but there's a lot of other aspects to creating a project of the scope that Phil and Natalie originally identified. And I think the more projects Phil takes on in his personal work, the more he understands the larger need for organizations like Blue Earth Alliance and Bridges and some of the other organizations out there working to help give a voice to the issues that the current media are largely overlooking.
Adam, how many projects does Blue Earth Alliance support?
I don't know the exact number. I'm going to take a stab at about 25 projects, supported over 55 or 60 over the course of Blue Earth Alliance's life. So we're project heavy right now. We just have some amazing projects.
Phil, can you tell me a little bit more about your project that I have in my show?
Well, it's work that I did quite a while ago. It was in 1998 that I joined with Amnesty International to do a project called Enduring Spirit that had to do with the celebration of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which turned 50 years old in 1998. And it was a project that was designed to bring attention to this document that at that time was 50 years old. Now it's another 9 years older, almost 60 years old. And the importance of that document. And it was illustrated with a variety of indigenous groups around the world, especially indigenous groups suffering human rights violations. And the whole purpose of that exhibit and alliance that I had with Amnesty International was to bring attention to the importance of the document and to have people recommit themselves to the document. So in the course of the Enduring Spirit exhibit, it traveled around Europe and North America. We had some 80 openings, and at each opening we had people come in and rededicate themselves to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by signing a document, and usually there was a dignitary there. When we were in Hollywood, there was a Hollywood star there. When we were in Washington, D.C., we had senators come to the event. And during this whole run of the exhibit, Amnesty collected some 10 million signatures to rededicate themselves to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And so, as I understand it, in your gallery you have 5 or 6 images from that exhibit. There were, at the time, 50 images in the exhibit.
Thank you, Phil. Janis Miglavs, would you like to speak?
What, this Africa's Undiscovered Myths is a project that I started one time when I was driving to I'm a commercial photographer, and I was driving to an assignment, and I saw one of my photographs on a billboard, and I was just kind of, gosh, is this all there is to it? And so I decided that, I wanted to leave something for humanity more than just advertising or brochures that last for about a month. And so I started researching, looking for really remote tribes around the world, with the idea that the oral myths and the archetypal dreams of these tribes might hold some kind of ancient wisdom that predates the stuff that we have now. And so I started going to Africa, because that's the birthplace of modern man, and I started to interview the elders and the shamans, witch doctors, storytellers about their myths and their archetypal dreams. And then after I interviewed them, I'd come back here to the United States, and I'd create photo illustrations of those things. And for almost all of the tribes that I've visited, and I think there's about 13 tribes that I've visited, is apparently I'm the only person, or not apparently, anthropologists tell me that I'm the only person that's ever interviewed the tribes about the myths and recorded the tribal myths and their archetypal dreams. And all these myths are oral. And so then I create photo illustrations and have shows around the United States, including Longview, Texas, and also at the United Nations. And again, it's interesting. These myths I'm finding, and I have no idea how old these myths are, because when I ask the elders, how old is this myth? And they always just say, well, it's from our ancestors. So that could be 50 years, could be 500 years, could be 5,000 years. And there's evidence that some of these tribes have been around for at least 5,000 years. So that would predate, Islam, that would predate Christianity, that would even predate the Egyptian empire. So it's been an interesting project.